September 7th, 2022 Hempstead Town Board meeting. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
We have Supervisor Clayton.
And I am here.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman Diaz-Padrino.
I'm here.
Councilman Dunn.
Here.
Deputy Supervisor Gooseby. Here. Councilwoman Miller. Present. Councilman Muscarella.
Here. Councilman Criscrini, please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please place your hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before you stand, if you'd all please take a moment to remember the lives of lost on September 11th, 2001. Councilman?
Also, Supervisor, if everyone could please keep in their prayers. Since the last board meeting, the Island Park Fire Department suffered its first line of duty death with ex-captain and now honorary Chief Michael Fisher. If you could please keep him and his family in your prayers. Thank you.
Thank you all. All right, Madam Clerk, would you please call the first public hearing?
Yes, we have a resolution authorizing the demolition and removal of the two-story wood frame, one-family dwelling, and debris from the premises located on the northwest corner of Fisherman's Road and Harbor Street, section 54, block 431, and lots 43 to 44, also known as 709 Fisherman's Road in Baltimore.
Okay, I do have a slip on this. Eric Mahler? Eric, could you just give me name and address for the record?
Sure, Eric Mahler, 1030 Merrick Road, Baldwin, New York. I'm speaking on behalf of against this resolution. It took me 3.5 years to be able to purchase this property. I just closed 2 weeks ago on it. I hired Mark Anthony and Associates to be able to hire draft plans, et cetera, for what I envisioned for this property. I made a notification about 2 weeks ago to the town of Hempstead, unfortunately to no avail to the building department. But Mark Anthony, architects, will be drafting the structure, et cetera, what I plan on doing with the subdivision and maintaining the property. They're drafting it in approximately 2 weeks, and any actions that the town of Hempstead may take, I ask you to halt.
All right, Mr. Mahler, I know I have my building commissioner here. As you heard, he just recently purchased the property in the last 2 weeks. Can we, work with them to see if they're coming to be hiring an architect to see if we can come to some sort of resolution?
Absolutely. Supervisor, members of the board, Deputy Supervisor, Mr. Howard.
Okay, Eric.
What we normally ask for is that the resolution be passed. This is only the beginning stages of the demolition. We will work very closely with Mr. Mahler to achieve those goals. We just want compliance.
Yeah, Mr. Mahler, I will let you know that we've had situations like this come up before. We have passed the resolution, but you do have a commitment from the building commissioner that they're going to work with you on this. We have a lot of these instances, we generally pass these resolutions. But if you can stick around after, of course, we'll exchange information with you and just keep me in the loop to make sure it's moving along to some sort of accountable resolution.
And pass the resolution and we'll talk. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I don't have any other slips on item number 1. Does anybody else wish to be heard? If not, may I please have a motion?
Supervisor, I move that the public hearing be closed and the authorization of demolition and removal be approved.
Second motion. Supervisor Clayton.
Aye.
Councilman Carini. Aye. Councilman Diaz-Padrino.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn.
Aye.
Deputy Supervisor Gooseby. Aye. Councilwoman Miller. Aye. Councilman Muscarella.
Aye. Deputy Commissioner Lino, maybe give Mr. Mahler your card so he doesn't have to sit around here. Okay? Madam Clerk, please call the next item.
We have a resolution authorizing the demolition and removal of the one-story wood frame, one-family dwelling with a detached garage and debris from the premises. The said premises are located on the north side of Sunnybrook Drive, 216 feet east of West Sunnybrook Drive, section 54, block 498, and lots 12, also known as 511 Sunnybrook Drive in Oceanside.
Okay, any member of the board wish to heard of this? I do not have any slips. Any Anybody who did not sign in wishes to be heard on item number 2? If not, may I please have a motion?
Supervisor, I move that the public hearing be closed and the authorization of demolition and removal be approved.
Second.
Supervisor Clayton?
Aye.
Councilman Carini?
Aye.
Councilman Diaz-Padrino?
Aye.
Councilman Dunn?
Aye.
Deputy Supervisor Gooseby? Aye. Councilwoman Miller?
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella?
Aye. Madam Clerk, please call the next item.
We have a proposed local law regarding regulations and restrictions to limit parking in Oceanside and Montauk.
Any member of the board wish to be heard? I do not have any slips. Anyone in the public did not sign in for item number 3 wish to be heard? If not, may I please have a motion?
Supervisor, I move that the public hearing be closed and the local law be adopted.
Second.
Supervisor Clayton?
Aye.
Councilman Carini?
Aye.
Councilman Diaz-Padrino?
Aye.
Councilman Dunn?
Aye.
Deputy Supervisor Gooseby?
Aye.
Councilwoman Miller?
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella?
Aye. Madam Clerk, please call the next item.
We have a proposed local law regarding parking or standing prohibitions near Lawrence, Merrick, Oceanside, near and Rockville Center.
Any member of the board wish to be heard? If not, I do not have any slips on item number 4. Any member of the public did not sign in and wish to be heard on item number 4? If not, may I please have a motion?
I move the public hearing be closed and the board adopt the item. Second motion.
Supervisor Clayton?
Aye.
Councilman Carini?
Aye.
Councilman Diaz-Padrino?
Aye.
Councilman Dunn?
Aye.
Deputy Supervisor Gooseby?
Aye.
Councilwoman Miller?
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella?
Madam Clerk, please call the next item.
We have a proposed local law regarding arterial stops in Merrick and West Hempstead.
Any member of the board wish to be heard on this? And how many slips? Does anybody wish to be heard that did not sign in for item number 5? If not, may I please have a motion?
I make a motion that it be closed and adopted.
Second.
Supervisor Clayton?
Aye.
Councilman Carini?
Aye.
Councilman Diaz-Padrino?
Aye.
Councilman Dunn?
Aye.
Deputy Supervisor Gooseby? Councilwoman Miller?
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella?
Aye.
Madam Clerk, please call the next item.
We have a proposed handicap parking on public streets in Elmont and Uniondale.
Okay, member of the board want to be heard? Don't have any slips. Anybody who did not sign in, we should be heard on item number 6. If not, may I please have a motion?
I make the motion that it be closed and adopted.
Second motion.
Supervisor Clayton?
Aye.
Councilman Carini?
Aye.
Councilman Diaz-Padrino?
Aye.
Councilman Dunn?
Aye.
Deputy Supervisor Gooseby?
Aye.
Councilwoman Miller?
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella?
Aye.
Madam Clerk, please call the next item.
It is to review the recommendation of the Town of Hempstead Landmarks Preservation Commission that the Merrick Gable home located at 65 Henry Street in Merrick, also known as Section 56, Block 191, Lot 136, be designated an historical landmark.
Any member of the board wish to be heard? Okay, I have a couple of slips in this. Let's start with Bob. Bob, how are you?
Good, how are you, sir?
I'm sorry for the loss.
Thank you very much, really appreciate that.
Could you give your name and address for the record?
Yes, it's Robert Dujardin, 65 Henry Street, Merrick, New York.
The floor is yours for the next 3 minutes.
Okay, floor is mine, okay. Well, I just want to say that I think it's very important that our home be given landmark status. The Gables are a very unique community. They were conceived as a California-style development in the midst of Long Island. I don't know if you know a little bit about the history, but it was originally perceived as a movie colony because back in the 20s, there was a movie studio in Astoria, Queens, and it was intended that it would be sort of like a second Hollywood, and that's why the homes were made to mimic the California style with the stucco and the gable roofs. And unfortunately, the movie colony aspect didn't really come about because of the Great Depression. This development was built around 1928. As you know, the Depression hit in '29, but it's a very unique character, and we are fighting tooth and nail so that developers are not allowed to, if they purchase one of the homes, to build something that is totally out of character. We're fighting very hard to make sure that those homes remain Gables homes. I grew up in this particular house. I was born in 1962. My parents purchased the house in 1955. So I've lived there my entire 60 years. I got married in 2010. Here's my wife, Priscilla, right here. And she's lived there with me since we've been married. And just last year, we had a newborn baby daughter. And our hope is to see her grow up in this house and in this community, which is quite unique. People who visit it are awe-stricken by the unique character of it. And we are fighting tooth and nail to preserve that character, and we will do whatever it takes. And this obviously is the first step toward that. Priscilla, I don't know if you want to say a few words.
Thank you. You've done very well. Thank you.
Hey, Priscilla, if you just pull the mic down, just give your name and address. We'll call you right now.
Thank you
Priscilla.
for your attention. Priscilla Dujardin, 65 Henry Street. And my husband, again, he reiterates everything that we believe in the character of the home, and since I live there, just making it a home and being part of the community and having our daughter grow up there and being part of the community and preserving the character of the neighborhood.
Excellent. Thank you both for coming down and speaking in support. Rob, it is good to see you. It's been a long time, and it's funny. Nancy, my wife, who you've known 30 plus years, we were just talking about you the other day. But I'm delighted you came down and are speaking for it. It's a beautiful area. Councilman Carini, represents the area, and he'll tell you, the people down there are passionate about preserving the beauty of it. So you have a wonderful advocate in him and all the board. So thank you both for coming in, and nice to see the both of you.
Best to Nancy.
I promise you I will. Thank you. Bye, Priscilla. I don't have any other slips on item number 7. Is there anybody who did not sign in wishes to be heard on it? If not, may I please have a motion?
I'm going to make the motion that we adopt the item. And before we do, I just want to thank the Eric Gables Association. They've been working very hard with the community. I believe up to date now, in the last 3 years, we've probably passed about 25 to 30 of these houses. And these are great historic monuments that we're going to be keeping. It really does keep to the character of the neighborhood. So I move we adopt the item.
I second Councilman Carini's motion.
Supervisor Clayton.
Proudly aye.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman Diaz-Padrón.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn.
Aye.
Deputy Supervisor Guzzi.
Yes.
Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Mosquera.
Aye. Thank you both. Congratulations to you. And Madam Clerk, would you please call the next item?
To review the recommendation of the Town of Hempstead Landmarks Preservation Commission that the Merrick Gable home located at 127 Fox Boulevard in Merrick be designated a historic landmark.
Okay, any member of the board wish to be heard on this? Okay, I do have slips from the both of you again on item number 7. Did you both want to be heard again on item number 7? Robert, Priscilla, did you put in slips? For item number 8, did you want to be heard on this one? Okay, Robert Flegel? Hey, Ms. Flegel, if you just come to the back there, give your name and address for the record.
Good morning.
Is it Flegel or Flegel?
It's Flegel.
Oh, thank you.
My name is Robert Flegel. I live at 99 Fox Boulevard in Merrick. I just wanted to thank the board for considering this issue and respectfully request that they follow the recommendation of their town landmark committee and pass 127 Fox as a historic landmark. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much, and thanks for coming in for your advocacy. I don't have any other slips on item number 8. Does anybody wish to be heard on item number 8? If not, might I please have a motion?
I have a motion that we adopt the item.
Second.
Supervisor Clayton.
Aye.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman Diaz-Padrón.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn.
Aye.
Deputy Supervisor Guzzi.
Aye.
Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Mosquera.
Aye.
Thank you again for coming in, and both have been passed by the town board. Good seeing everybody. Madam Clerk, would you please call the next item?
We are to review the recommendation of the Town of Hempstead Landmarks Preservation Commission that the Jackson 2 home located at 1419 Wantaw Avenue in Wantaw be designated a historical landmark.
Okay, any member of the board wish to be heard on this? Okay, I do not have any slips. Any member of the public which should be heard on item number 9 that did not sign in? If not, may I please have a motion?
I move the public hearing be closed and the board adopt the item.
Second.
Supervisor Flavin.
Aye.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman Diaz-Padrino.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn.
Aye.
Deputy Supervisor Boothby.
Aye.
Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye. Madam Clerk, please call the next item.
We have the application of 2798 Merrick LLC to modify an existing GSS and improve the property by repositioning the 6 gas dispensing pumps, adding a 77.6-foot by 24-foot pump island canopy, converting a portion of the existing building into a 742-foot convenience store and 3-bay vehicle service station, adding signage, landscaping, paving, and associated site improvements at the premises located in Belmore.
Okay. Identify yourself for the record.
Good morning. For the applicant, Matthew Winkler of Brown, Altman, and DeLeo, 538 Broad Hollow Road, Melville, New York, 11747. With me this morning is Chris Tartaglia of High Point Engineering, our project engineer, who's available to answer any site-related questions that the board or public may have. We're here today for the application of 2798 Merrick LLC to include the existing gasoline station in the town's GSS district, to amend the site plan, as well as for area and sign variance relief. Specifically, the application seeks to reposition the 6 fueling pumps, add a fueling canopy over the gas pumps, convert a portion of the existing building into a 742 square foot convenience store, along with an ADA compliant restroom, and as well as maintain 3 of the auto repair bays. Currently there are 4 bays. Just as a housekeeping item, the public mailing and posting was performed in accordance with the town code and submitted to the town clerk's office prior to this morning's hearing. For background, the property is located at 2798 Merrick Road in Belmore and is situated at the southwest corner of Merrick Road and Belmore Avenue and is zoned in the Business X zoning district. Based on our review of the town's records, the site's been used as a gasoline fueling station for approximately 75 years, beginning in circa 1974. As can be seen from the aerial photograph, the character of the area along Merrick Road is predominantly commercial. There's across Belmore Avenue, there's a Dunkin' Donuts. On the opposite side of the gas station, there's a retail strip center. There's the Brokerage Comedy Club, and across the street there's a similar gasoline station, which also has a convenience store, a fueling canopy, as well as an auto service base. So it's really a minor application, as mentioned. We're seeking to reposition the gas pumps. We're going to maintain the existing building and repurpose it so there will be 3 service bays, a 742 square foot convenience store with ADA compliant restroom, as well as adding a fueling canopy. As you can see, the property currently has little to no landscaping. There's really nothing along Merrick Road, very little along Belmore Avenue, and there's little to no landscaping on the side yard, nor is there any landscaping on the rear yard. Can you pull up the color site plan rendering? Yeah, so as can be seen from the rendering, the applicant is going to add a significant amount of green space where really currently there's little to zero in place. There's going to be green space at the intersection of Belmore Avenue and Merrick Road. There's going to be trees and shrubs along the side yard. And importantly, the applicant is going to enhance the buffer along the rear yard by adding green space, as well as there's 8 trees planted along the rear yard. So with that, this is a relatively minor application, and I just open it up to the board and the public for any questions you may have.
Thank you very much. We're going to see if first if any of the board members have any questions.
What are the hours of operation that are planned for the convenience store?
The convenience store will be 24/7.
There's only a couple houses I see surrounding. Have you reached out to the neighbors? Any concerns?
We didn't reach out, other than the public mailing, and we haven't received any comments from the public.
Okay, thank you.
Let me see. I do not have any slips from anybody in the public. Anybody did not send in item number 10 that wishes to be heard on this? Okay, and then we appreciate the presentation, and I'll make a motion for the board. Mayor?
I make the motion that we reserve decision at this time. We'll close the public hearing.
Second.
Supervisor Clayton?
Aye.
Councilman Carini?
Aye.
Councilman D'Esposito?
Aye.
Councilman Dunn?
Aye.
Deputy Supervisor Gooseby? Councilwoman Miller?
Aye.
Councilman Musgrove?
Aye. Thank you very much for your presentation. Have a great day. Madam Clerk, please call the administrative calendar.
The administrative calendar, today we have items 11 through 76.
Okay, is there anybody on the board wishes to be heard on the administrative calendar? Okay, let's put a couple of slips on this. First, we'll start with Bonnie Garone.
Good morning, Bonnie Garone, Rockville Center. My first question is on item 18. Are these new districts? Because I'm not clear on why this mapping needs to be done.
There we go. Maybe identify yourself.
Supervised members of the board, Richard Regina, Town Attorney's Office. These are not new library funding districts. They've all existed for more than 20 years.
Then why now do they need to be remapped?
Under state law, the town of Hempstead runs their every 5-year elections. The Board of Elections maintains a voter database for those districts, but we discovered last year that their list was not 100% accurate. In order to improve that accuracy, we're going to create a digital map to give them to match addresses into the district.
And have you talked with the board about whether that's what they need?
Yes, that's exactly why we prepared the item for the board.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Regina, and thank you for doing the work with the Nassau County Board of Elections.
That's very funny. On item 64, which is the set of agreements, the opt-in agreements for school districts to join the school bus stop-on enforcement program, I think all of them asked for installation to begin as soon as possible, so I assume that will happen once this resolution is approved and the agreements are signed by the town. Do you have any idea when the program itself will actually go into effect?
Mr. Regina, if not up again.
Sure. The town board adopted the local law, I believe, in February of this past year. Over the several months, the town, with the assistance of our vendor bus patrol, has been speaking with the school districts. In the last, I'm going to say 2 months, almost all of the school districts in the town of Hempstead have opted in to the program we adopted in February. Our vendor bus patrol has been working with various people in those school districts regarding equipping the buses once the town board authorized the agreements as well. So upon the authorization of the agreements will be in effect. There is in our code a 30-day grace period, so that from the time the cameras go live, drivers are going to get a warning that you would be in violation, and approximately in a month, they'll all be fully live.
So my question actually was, when do you think it will go into effect? In other words, when the...
I think you just said that we already started the process. There's going to be a grace period of 30 days, so 30 days is really kind of the answer to this game.
Yes.
Okay.
Wait a minute. You said that installation has not yet begun, and that will begin...
No, installation has begun.
even though this hasn't been signed. Okay.
No, you can't kind of get thrown in the blanks here. We've already started this process months ago. You asked a couple of questions months ago on the process. We've worked with Bus Patrol very diligently and the school districts, and they have actually started the implementation of it.
Okay, but my point was you haven't yet signed the agreements with the schools. But be that as it may, if we believe this is going to go into effect in approximately 30 days, has the town hired the enforcement technician that's referred to in all these agreements?
If I remember correctly, and somebody will rectify this.
Mr. Supervisor, we have people in our office,
There you go.
in the town attorney's office that are going to handle that.
I see, so no new hiring is necessary?
And actually, the fees for their work will be paid by Bus Patrol. So it's up to those specific employees are town employees that are already working, and their work while on Bus Patrol will be paid by Bus Patrol.
Okay, so no additional hiring, I see, thank you. On item 36, this is an agreement with iHeartMedia to do outreach, job, and training materials development services. And there was an RFP published, and can someone tell me where that was published?
If you would identify yourself and kind sir.
Yes, good morning, Eric Millett, Town of Hempstead, Door, Commissioner, Supervisor, Town Board members, Deputy Supervisor. It was published in the papers.
What papers?
I'm not sure, I believe, whatever the local papers are, I think Newsday, I'm not really sure, I have to check.
Okay, and it was only, there was only one proposal received from this vendor, iHeartMedia?
Yes, iHeart. It's for outreach. It's to let the public know a lot of the programs that we have to offer throughout the town of Hempstead. So we advertise in the newspapers for years, and so now we're trying to do more outreach through, radio, and we've been getting a lot of responses through our radio.
Yeah, and last year you held one of the successful things was the job fair.
That's correct.
Right, and which was great. We teamed up with the Village of Freeport.
Village of Freeport, that's on the 15th.
Yeah.
And so it's being advertised, all the things that we provide, services, now we're doing it through the radio.
Okay, and that's what iHeartMedia will be doing?
That's correct, yes.
So why is the title Outreach, Job, and Training Materials Development Services? What materials are they developing?
The reason for that is they will tell or advertise all the things that we offer. We offer training, we offer education, career opportunities. So they have all of this information, and on the commercials, they will advertise what we do at Door.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, next I have Nita Meriday. Good morning, give your name and address for the record, thank you.
Good morning, Nita J. Meriday. I'm standing here regarding a number of issues, so hopefully I can get them all addressed within the time I have available. So I'll go from the back first. Number 74 and 75, just a quick question. I'm hoping that the residents of North Lawrence and Inwood are better informed with regard to their upcoming moratorium, because having experienced it in Baldwin, and residents were not properly informed or advised as to what the consequences were. I'm just putting that on the table, and again, if anyone's listening from North Lawrence and Inwood, you need to actually speak to your council people and get on board with that. Number 60, what is it and where is it? Number 61, how much is it and what seniors are involved and how are they selected? If we could start there and stop the clock at 2:08.
Ms. Meriday, we'll have that response done then. We'll tell them to stop the clock. Thank you so much.
Well, it hasn't happened before, Council. So that's fine.
That's not true. That's okay.
It is right.
Identify yourself.
Deputy Commissioner Matthew Hirsch, Planning and Economic Development. I believe you asked regarding question 60.
Yes.
That's the 48th program year.
Yes.
That is our funding through HUD. We applied through this and it was passed the board in March. This is just accepting the funds. I'm happy to meet with you in the back and we can go through all that funding in detail. 61, this is the Restore Emergency Repair. This is going to help 30 seniors, but this resolution is just to pursue the grant. This isn't to actually accept any funds. It's just to follow through and hopefully obtain those funds.
So that's just the initial process?
Yes, ma'am. This is part of the regulations that the state has provided. We have to have town support for this grant.
Okay, and I can talk to you about what the town's direction regarding this moving forward so that there is possible input and inclusion, since that clearly doesn't happen?
Of course.
Sure. Okay, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Item 17, just regarding the Ninth Amendment, executing a Ninth Amendment to avoid solid waste service. I'm just curious as to who reviews the agreements overall, particularly with Covanta, and if there's any type of discussion with regard to diversity, inclusion, safety issues, environmental concerns that many residents have, particularly those who can't seem to get contracts within the town. Maybe if the town was more responsible for providing supplier diversity with those that it gives our tax dollars, that might be something helpful. So if somebody could address that.
Good morning, my name is Francesca Capitano. I am counsel to the Department of Sanitation. The Covanta agreement is a long-term agreement. It lasts 25 years. It began in 2009. This particular amendment only relates to excess waste that we deliver on a yearly basis. It gives us a preferred rate. Under the agreement, we're allowed 420,000 tons. From year to year, we may need to deliver more than that. This particular past year, we delivered 13,000 over that. So this agreement just papers up what we'll pay for that extra 13,000.
Okay, but is there any discussion with them with regard to how they are administering that waste? Waste reduction, environmental concerns, anything of that nature? Or it's
With respect to this particular agreement, no. There are ongoing meetings throughout the year with Covanta regarding all of their operations. And if you'd like to set up an appointment, you know, I'd be glad to give you my card and we can discuss all of those things.
Sure, sounds good. Thank you.
Okay, I'll see you after then.
Appreciate it. Maybe a long line. Number 26, sealed letter bid for testing and maintaining chemical levels. Who gets the report? If there's anything that's adverse, how is that addressed?
Town Board, Deputy Commissioner DGS, Bobby Geese. By law, we have to test the water levels in the chilling towers on the roof, and it's given back to us, and we take it under file. It goes to Walden Environmental as well.
Okay, so that doesn't include air quality?
We do air quality testing 4 times a year as well.
Okay, and who gets that report?
Walden Environmental.
Is it open to the public?
I believe so.
Okay, thank you. I'd like a copy. 27.
You have to submit a full request.
Not a problem. I do know how to write. I have 2 degrees. 27, 28, 29, just have questions regard to the contracting process in 28, 29. I just have questions as to what was the decrease and what was the change as far as where the funds are going. And what exactly is the town doing with regard to the needs that residents still have for emergency assistance and rental?
Okay, so in item number 27, John?
With regard to the town attorney's office, periodically the town board has gone out with requests for proposals for attorneys to work on certain matters that the town deems needed to be used by outside counsel. The town board recently requested a new RFP, and we've kept all of the attorneys on that were originally there, and we've added a few more. We want to get as many possible experts in as many different types of field of law so that the town is properly represented. So we're just adding a few more firms on to expand our opportunities to get representation from outside counsel.
Okay, I've seen the list, but where's the diversity? Where's the composition? Women, minorities, veterans?
Well, I've only been on as the town attorney for approximately a month, and in my interactions with the attorneys that you use. I can tell you that for a fact that the town is very diverse, but we'll follow up with you if you'd like. I'll give you my card after the meeting, and we can discuss what issues you think might be there with regard to diversity in the use of women. But I can tell you now that in my month, I can tell you that the town is very diverse, and we have a lot of very, very good women attorneys in our office, as well as outside counsel.
Okay, I'll take your card too. 2829, I did ask about that.
Yes, John Mastro, Marina Town Controller. These are just various adjustments as it relates to the audits that we have every year. They call single audits. Our accountants have to audit every single federal program, and in doing that, they have adjustments that go back and forth. Nothing changes in total. They're just individual adjustments as to where things were posted by town board resolution. So all of these things are part of our normal end-of-year audit.
What about the state's audit that was not favorable for the town? What's the answer to that?
What item is that? What item is on the calendar?
I'm sorry?
What item is that on the calendar you're referring
Well,
to?
you just said what it relates to as far as these items, and I wanted to know that that tie into the audits, because you mentioned audit.
No, he said the internal audits. That's what he said.
But I did ask a question about how that pertains to addressing the state audit that was not favorable to the...
Again, that isn't what the
I don't know that.
No, that's okay. I'm just
I don't
letting you
know
know.
what the expenditures were, so that's why I asked the question.
Thank you, Ms. Meredith.
It's still a valid question because residents want to know when the state says that you're...
I don't have any other slips on the administrative calendar. Is anybody who did not sign it that wishes to be on the administrative calendar? Okay. If not, may I please have a motion to adjourn? Oh, I'm sorry. That's okay.
You didn't hear it. You're about to cut everybody.
Ms. Meredith, thank you so much. We appreciate that. We said thank you. Yes, ma'am. Can I have your name and address for the record?
Morning, Marcia DiTieri, American, New York. On Resolution 53, decreasing the part-time wages at the animal shelter. One of the things I was going to bring up was not enough staff at the shelter and to promote part-time, if not full-time, more full-time and part-time staff there for the animals' well-being. I was wondering why it's being decreased, not increased.
Town Controller, Mr. Moreno?
Yes, there is a potential over expenditure in one category for outside veterinary services. And in looking at the part-time allocation, we're not spending nearly half of what the allocation was in the budget. And in speaking to the commissioner, he says he can't find part-time help. Nobody wants to, he's reached out, and there's just not a availability of people interested in part-time help. So this is a switching of the funding in order to provide the funding where it's needed.
Did anyone consider advertising? I've seen no advertising any sort for the animal shelter. For hiring, for rescue, for adoptions, nothing.
Well, I'm going to respectfully disagree. I know that our team is pretty good about putting it online and letting people know, and we do infomercials, and we've done work with News 12 to let people know about the possibility of adoptions. So, we do have an outreach program. And we've been very successful this year. We've done a lot of changes down there. We've worked with a lot of people, brought a lot of people in, to be a little more inclusive in the voices and ideas that are being heard down there. And I think we're heading in the right direction.
Job fair that you advertised in the Merrick Herald didn't say anything about the animal shelter. That would have been promoting it also.
Okay, but there were opportunities, and they can come down anytime. Anybody can always come down and fill out a part-time application right off the street, and we get them all the time for various departments.
More advertising, more staff.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay, I don't have any other slips. Anybody else who wishes to hear the administrative calendar? If not, may I please have a motion?
Supervisor, I move that the resolution be closed, resolution be closed on items number 1 through 11. No, you're asking me. Oh, I'm sorry. That's a different. Okay, 11 through 73.
73, 76. You guys put too much on the back of the page.
I second the deputy supervisor's motion. Items 11 through 76. Yes, ma'am.
Supervisor Clayton.
Aye.
Councilman Creedy.
Aye.
Councilman Diaz-Padrón.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn.
Aye.
Deputy Supervisor Gooseby. Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Make a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Supervisor Clayton.
Aye.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman Diaz-Padrón.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn.
Aye.
Deputy Supervisor Gooseby. Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye. Okay, even though the board meeting has been adjourned, now as customary, we'll stick around to hear the residents. Public comment, start with Bonnie Durham.
Bonnie Room, Rockville Center. I'm going to go back to the story I started to tell at the last board meeting, and I hope that my time won't run out today. So in my hypothetical, please consider that you of all of you up there have been elected to a school board. And unfortunately, sadly, one of the schools that you're responsible for is doing really badly. The children aren't learning, they're not progressing, and very few of them are able to go on to have successful and happy lives. And it's been that way for many years. There have been years of criticisms and complaints. And you know it's not from lack of funding, because your taxpayers are paying to make this facility one of the best funded on Long Island. The teachers and staff are unhappy. That is, the teachers and staff who actually care about the kids and enjoy working with them. The kids for whom the school exists are miserable and not moving on. And as in any school, you know, it's the principal of the school who runs it and who sets the tone, he sets the rules and the atmosphere. But the school board president says to you, you don't have to really get involved, I'm going to take care of it. And so he sends in a loyal person to check in at the school from time to time and bring to his attention any individual student situations that are particularly serious. And then they try to resolve those individual problems. And this way it doesn't get much publicity and people don't really know the things that are going on in the school. They also, you see that your school board president isn't making any systemic changes. He's not doing anything transformational. He's not changing the principal who runs the place and the one who has been setting the problematic rules and atmosphere and tone. Now, if you were on this school board, you'd be up in arms and you'd be getting involved to make the changes happen. In this hypothetical, you know I'm describing the town animal shelter. And you know that the principal in this situation is the director of the animal shelter. And I believe each of you, just as elected school board members, as elected representatives, should be getting involved and taking some steps to make the changes that are necessary. And here's something you may not know. Under the town code, section 152-2, the director of the animal shelter works at the pleasure of the town board, okay? It's right in the law that you can either fix his term or he will serve at your pleasure. So you all, in my opinion, need to be getting involved because your constituents care about this. And it's not all up to the school board president. So please, all of you, get involved and let's solve the shelter problem once and for all.
Thank you, Ms. Brown. I appreciate that. Next I have Stephanie Chase. Morning, Ms. Chase. Could you give me an address for the record?
Good morning. My name is Stephanie Chase. I reside at 1223 Woodfield Road, Rockville Center, Lakeview section. We were wondering, some of the residents, at the Lakeview train station, it's just a mess. Debris all over the place. We ourselves, as a civic association, have gotten together and we've cleaned it up, we've planted flowers, bushes. We're wondering who is responsible for that area?
I believe that property is responsibility along Railroad. We can verify that for you, and if you'd like, we can reach out to the railroad to talk about them investing in and upkeeping the beautification of that station. And it could be a budding, not sure, I'm just thinking, could be a budding some state property as well. But I'm happy to follow up for you if you'd like. If it's okay with you, if I can get your name and address, we'll grab it before you leave so I can follow up. Is that all right with you?
Sure.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
No problem, sir. Take care. Bye-bye. Next, I have Felix McCaskill. Morning. Name and address, please.
Felix McCaskill, Franklin Square. At the July 19th meeting, acting town attorney Jack Liebert expressed his feelings that the town's building zone ordinance should be reviewed in its entirety. I agree with Jack's assessment. Building zone ordinance should be consistent with state and federal law and serve a legitimate purpose. There are 3 town zoning laws I know of that should be reviewed and, in my opinion, should be removed. The first is the town's emergency free air law, which allows people to claim financial hardship at a service station and be entitled to free compressed air. On October 7, 2020, the governor signed into law Bill number S4495A, which states municipalities should not be able to enact local laws which establish different requirements for tire inflation equipment. This state law nullifies the town's building zone ordinance 336G3 of Article 33 that mandates gasoline stations provide compressed air at no charges in case of emergency. The town's ordinance was illegal since its inception in 1978 because zoning law cannot be used to regulate prices and can only address safety concerns regarding land use, not roadways. The second is the town's windows and restaurants law 302Q of Article 31 passed in 2016. Its stated purpose was for public safety, but the law does not describe what safety concerns that is. When the law was passed in 2016, at least 4 board members who voted for this law were citizens of villages, yet none of them advocated for such a law in their village. Either they weren't concerned about public safety of restaurants in their village, or the intent of this law was to serve some other purpose that the board did not want to admit to. The third ordinance is in paragraph 267D3 of Article 27, which allows the BZA to make grants temporary in nature without specifying any specific reason for doing so. For example, in 2016, the BZA gave a 5-year temporary grant to a property in Wantor for a brand new PVC fence without providing any reason as to why this fence permit needed to be reviewed every 5 years. This ordinance is too vague and allows the BZA to abuse its power. For example, the ordinance doesn't give any requirement, it doesn't require the BZA to provide a detailed reason to the applicant as to why the board deemed it was necessary to make the grant temporary and not permanent. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Mr. Couch, we appreciate that. Next I have Ms. Miranda. Ms. Miranda? Okay. Next I have Ms. Meredith. Ms. Meredith? Okay. And next I have Marcia Gutierrez. Ms. Gutierrez?
Hello again. Marcia Gutierrez, Merritt, New York. I was actually optimistic when Commissioner Jowitz gave me his business card, assuring that he would keep me in the loop regarding tree preservation in our township. He advised me of his love of nature and knew that the destruction of the environment was serious. That fell short when he attempted to reach him at least 7 times in the past few weeks with no response. Disrespectful, leading to yet more clear-cutting of healthy, mature trees. I am asking once again that tree preservation laws be a priority in this township, currently being last in what is imperative to keep our environment and residents healthy. Advertise tree planting options, give out free tree gift cards to seniors, tree incentives to residents, and most importantly, let your constituents know that tree planting is an option and that you care about the future of our township by enacting preservation laws. I am also sad that the animal shelter's director and commissioner, whose card I was also given, in addition to promises of a better environment for the animals, was not followed up. I've been emailing for the past 2 months and again will not return my phone calls. Little things to enrich the lives of the innocent animals, most of which are locked in antiquated loud cages that you cannot close without slamming. Between the dogs crying for attention, cats locked in cages way too small, as in the ongoing photos I emailed you, and lack of interaction, it is heartbreaking. I am requesting that my suggestions aren't just forwarded by the commissioner to someone at the shelter, but acted on. Staff running around without a minute to spare to make sure the animals are okay currently is not being done. Hire part-time staff so the animals are cared as they should be. Get little tables for the kennels to give cats and dogs additional space so they don't have to lie in their own dirt. Scratchers to stretch updated kennels with more space. 2-level kennels for vertical space will not take horizontal space. With a commissioner who will be in charge just of the shelter and will be on site with a compassionate director that interacts with the staff and animals, making sure they are a priority. Compassion first, then knowledge of animals must be a top priority. Advertise and work to get the animals out of there into loving homes by following a no-kill advocacy center protocol, as I will give you. The animals need behaviorists, enrichment, love, and knowledgeable rescue groups, which currently the town is alienated by over 60%. Adoption events, again, let the people know. I received the Merrick Herald. The town is advertising for a job fair, but nothing about the need for volunteers, fosters, and adopters at the animal shelter. North Shore Animal League, who isn't even in the town of Hempstead, has 2 ads in the Merrick Herald.
Thank you, Mr. Gutierrez. I read it, and we'll take a copy of that. I'll somebody from the staff to get a copy of that. And do appreciate the email, because I did read it yesterday, the 2 of you sent me. So we will be following up. Ms. Merida, I know you stepped outside, but we want to make sure you get your opportunity. Thank you, Brenda.
Good morning, Phil. Hello?
Yep.
Yes, okay, I just wanted to follow up again with regard to my statement earlier about residents who are reading Newsday and they would like an update on the New York State audit at some point in time to know that our funding is not being wasted or misused. And so many communities are still feeling that they are underserved. Secondly, I do want to acknowledge we have many people who do work very hard for this township, and I don't want anyone to think that I don't appreciate their efforts, because I do. But I will continue as best I can to be a voice for those that are so unconsidered within this municipality. But I want to acknowledge the hard work of our public safety officers, because they do a tremendous job in supporting and encouraging those who come here, and I definitely appreciate that, and I encourage anyone to, make sure you recognize all of those who stand behind the scenes and stand in support of who we are and what we do, particularly with the tragic anniversary that's coming up. And again, my sincerest sympathies go out to all of those who were impacted by 9/11, including myself. Now, back to the item at hand for the minute and a half I have left. NUMC continues to be either a beacon of hope or a blight on the population. My focus is on it becoming a beacon of hope, particularly for our underserved veterans, since we have so many in this township and the county who could definitely benefit from any type of extended resource there, particularly since the U.S. Senate, in a rare occasion, and a bipartisan support of the PAC bill can generate resources and supports for our veterans that we can utilize with a more advanced format at NUMC. And trust me, I brought this up at Nassau County, but East Meadow and the medical center also sits within the township of Hempstead. We can address that from a number of standpoints for our family, friends, and veterans and military family as it pertains to the burn pit situation, suicides. We just had a recent update in Newsday with regard to our children being impacted by suicides. With COVID, family support, mental health, I am urging all of our elected officials to look into that scenario so that we can bring in federal and state funding to build out the medical center, the unused space, and it is a public hospital, so we have to protect and ensure and expand that. But I think we should look at it first and foremost how we can support the veterans, the military, and our extended community. And I'll take my seat. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I don't have any other slips. Anybody who should be heard didn't. Let me lastly acknowledge the great work of everybody in the town of Hempstead working together. John Mastromarino was proud to announce that we received a AAA bond rating. It's the highest bond rating. That is a testament to everybody in the town, the good work that everybody does, and we're grateful for all this and the great success. And John Mastromarino, thank you. Keep up your charming personality. Have a wonderful day, and please join us this Sunday at the 9/11 ceremony. It begins at 7:30 a.m. on the beach at Point Lookout.